Welcome to Massive Late Fee. And now your hosts, Mark and Carol. Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Massive Late Fee. My name is Mark. With me as always is my girlfriend Carol. How you doing, Carol?
Hey, what's up?
How much has been a good week here at Massive Late Fee? It is March 30th, 1996.
It is.
And we've watched some things. And done some things. And talked about some things.
I feel like it's been many days.
It's only been a week. But
well, a week is many days.
That is true. Technically, a week is many days.
That kind of explains it.
The show we talk about movies and TV and life, friendship, perseverance, dedication.
You're weird. I don't know what the fuck you're doing. But, yeah.
You know what's persevered, though, Carol?
What?
Is the fashion of the Rat Pack. Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr., Peter Lawford, and don't forget that sly little one-liner, Joey Bishop. Why are you just staring at me?
Because I don't even know what to say, to that.
Okay.
I mean, I know that you're a grandpa, but if you could just
This isn't
not.
This isn't even me. Come on. If I could just not. This isn't even me. This is the Detroit Free Press. Okay.
Okay.
And it's this thing says every time there's a skinny shiny suit, they're there. Every time there's a open collared button up shirt, they're there. The Rat Pack, apparently their fashion is coming back into vogue. It says ever since Dean Martin tragically passed away on Christmas Day last year.
Aw.
Yeah, they've been talking about it and doing things about it. I don't know. Skinny suits and hats, fedoras, and open collared shirts.
Interesting.
Windbreakers. Cardigan sweaters.
The cardigan sweaters.
Yeah, that's Joey Bishop wore cardigan sweaters all the time. See? Like that.
Ew.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan.
It must be something that's happening in cooler areas than where we live, because I don't really see people dressed like this.
Well, I think it's more on the runway, and I don't know how much of that fashion actually trickles down to real people.
Right. I've often wondered that when I get a 17 magazine and I flip through it and I see all these wonderful clothes, and then I can never find them and nobody wears them.
You know what's not wonderful, though? At Harperwood's Eastland Center this weekend is going to be this. I want you to see this picture.
What in the actual hell is that?
Doesn't that look like... Because it's in black and white, too, and it's not that particularly great picture. Doesn't that look like a picture that you would find in a serial killer's trunk or something?
Yeah, I feel like I'm having some kind of waking nightmare.
It's called Bananas in Pajamas.
No.
Yes. Those are bananas in pajamas. It's a children's program, apparently. Or children's thing.
People intentionally watch that horror show?
Yeah, they do. And look at what their names are.
What?
They're stitched on there. B1 and B2.
That's very creative and original. They're bingo letters.
Oh my god. It's there's no real story there. I just wanted to show you that. I wanted to show you that picture that I saw in the paper.
Wow.
Yeah, terrible. Terrible, terrifying.
Just no.
Terabunda. How about Foo Fighters frontman finds there's life after Nirvana? You familiar with this band, the Foo Fighters? Mm-hmm. They're fighting foos. Let's see. With the dog. Isn't it Wag the Dog? I don't know. Anyway, to appreciate how fulfilled Foo Fighters frontman David Grohl is today, you need to understand how empty he felt in April of 1994. Yeah, I bet.
Why?
Because Kurt Cobain killed himself.
Oh, well, yeah.
Remember, we talked about that.
Well, yeah, I'm sorry. I just don't remember exactly, like, the day and shit.
Oh, you don't, huh? Terrible.
Yeah, I'm a horrible person. Because I have other things that I think about.
Yep. Then Kurt Cobain's suicide, that should be what you think about every day.
Right.
Kurt Cobain's suicide. Anyway, so yeah, he started a new band, the Foo Fighters, and apparently he's found life.
Well, good for him.
After Kurt Cobain's suicide. So I mean, that's cool, right?
Yeah, I'm happy for him, whatever. But
have you heard any of their songs?
I think so. It sounds familiar. What are their songs?
I don't know. I haven't heard any of their songs. That's why I was asking you.
I don't know. We'll have to, pay attention on the radio.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't even know if they have an album out yet or not. I've vaguely heard of them because I think they're touring. I think.
Okay.
But I don't know. I guess they probably have an album out. They probably have an album out and they're touring on that album.
Right.
Would be my guess. Anyway, real quick before we move on to all the great things that we watched.
We did watch some great things this time.
We did. The Oscars were this weekend, though, or last weekend, though.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got to talk about some stuff from the Oscars, I think. So, Kevin Spacey won for The Usual Suspects Best Supporting Actor.
Okay.
The reason we watched it.
Right.
I mean, he was up against James Cromwell in Babe, Ed Harris in Apollo 13, Brad Pitt in 12 Monkeys, and Tim Roth and Rob Roy. So, I mean, I think I don't have a big problem with that.
No, I like it.
Mira Sorvino won for Mighty Aphrodite.
I don't even know that.
What don't you know? Mira Sorvino or Mighty Aphrodite? Or what?
Mighty Aphrodite. I don't know Mira Sorvino either.
It's a Woody Allen movie. I showed you a picture of Mira Sorvino.
Okay.
One of the stories that we talked about like 3 weeks ago or something because she was playing Marilyn Monroe.
I forgot already.
Yeah. That doesn't surprise me.
I'm telling you, there's a lot going on in my head, and there's just not room to hang on to all this stuff.
Best actress. I was pissed. Carol knows I was pissed. Sharon Stone didn't win for Casino.
Aw.
Elizabeth Shue didn't win for Living Las Vegas.
No.
The two best performances of the year, I think.
Right?
Susan Sarandon won for Dead Man Walking.
We still have to watch Dead Man Walking.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, so I can't say that it's a travesty that it is, but it is.
No, she did an excellent job in that as well. We just need to watch it so you'll understand.
You've seen it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I went without you.
Who did you go to the movie theater with?
Heather.
Oh, good for you. Best actor.
Jeez, bitter much?
Yeah.
I'm allowed to do things without you, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
Sometimes we go to the mall, too.
Oh my God, the mall. Anthony Hopkins was nominated for Nixon as Nixon. Sean Penn for Dead Man Walking, but he did not win. He was a dead man walking. Richard Dreyfuss, Mr. Holland's Opus, Glenn Holland, did not win.
Aw.
You know who won?
Who?
You know who won. We watched it. Nicolas Cage, Leaving Las
Yay!
Vegas.
Finally, somebody that deserves it.
Best Director, Mel Gibson for Braveheart. I definitely don't agree with that. Sorry, Mel Gibson, but Mike Figgis, Leaving Las Vegas. I think there's merit there. Tim Robbins, Dead Man Walking. I don't know. Chris Noonan for Babe, maybe. Michael Radford for Il Postino, The Postman. Don't know about that either. But I when we talked about Braveheart way back in the beginning of the year, I had some nitpicks and gripes about the directing. So I don't think it's the best directing job at all.
Okay, yeah, I agree.
Best Picture, also don't agree with Braveheart.
Wow.
Yeah. I didn't like it, remember? I did not like it.
I know. I mean, I liked it. You didn't. I remember.
But it wasn't.
We spent a whole hour talking about it.
To be honest with you, it wasn't a great year. Braveheart, Apollo 13. Apollo 13 was good, but like, Best Picture? I don't know. Babe? Il Postino, The Postman. Haven't seen it. And Sense and Sensibility. That's what it beat out. So, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. Amongst those movies, I feel like it probably deserved to win.
Maybe. Babe's pretty good.
Yeah, but I mean, Leaving Las Vegas was amazing, and Casino was amazing, but those are not the kind of movies that get nominated for Best Picture.
Well, neither one of them were nominated, so.
Because they're, darker.
Darker.
People like to celebrate, happy bullshit.
That should be the Oscars tagline. The Oscars. People like to celebrate happy bullshit.
Although Braveheart's pretty sad.
Yeah, some of it, yeah. The girl gets murdered.
Yeah.
Then he gets killed.
Yeah. So,
They may take your lives, but they'll never take my legs. Oh, yeah, they will.
And your arms. I have no legs. I have no legs. I have no legs.
That's what she should have just started singing that. They would have all laughed and been like, he's fine.
Just let him go.
Let Scotland be free or whatever.
Right.
Still not free. Still part of the United Kingdom. Scotland is like the 10th largest economy in Europe.
Wow.
But it's still not an independent nation.
It's so weird though. Like when we talk about countries in Europe, I have trouble really understanding it because it's like the countries in Europe, they're like states in the United States. I mean, like size-wise and stuff.
Yeah. Okay, yes, size-wise, sure.
But they're whole countries with different currency and governments and, and like some of those countries are like the same size as the state of Michigan.
Yeah, they recently recarpeted Luxembourg. Just recarpeted the whole country.
Oh, okay.
They got a good deal from 588 Empire.
How many countries, I wonder, are there in Europe? We have 50 states, right? So I was just wondering, do we have more states or do we have more countries? Although North America is bigger than Europe, isn't it?
Oh, my God. Welcome to Geography Talk. North America, the entire continent of North America?
Yeah.
Yes, it's bigger than Europe.
But how about the United States?
Is the United States bigger than Europe?
Yes.
I honestly don't know. I think maybe. Yeah, I think it's close. But I believe there are, I don't know how many countries there are in Europe. It's got to be around 50, maybe a little bit more. I don't know. Some of them are pretty small. Estonia. And, Germany's pretty big, though. Germany's a fairly large country.
Yeah.
There's a few pretty large countries in Europe. I mean, the problem is how do you count Russia, I suppose, because part of Russia is Europe, and part of it is Asia.
Right.
Because it's a massive country. So I guess if you include the part, that's the biggest country in Europe, I guess. But it straddles both continents. So I don't know. It's hard to say. But there are a couple big ones in the central part of Europe, like Germany, like Austria, and then Italy's fairly large. But other than that, they're pretty small. Spain and France are pretty large.
We should go backpacking in Europe.
Okay, let's do that. Then you can count each state.
I will
Go through.
Yeah.
1 country, 2 countries.
And we'll make it through one a day because they're so small.
I don't know if you could do that. I think you have a misinterpretation of how big the countries of Europe are.
Maybe. Oh, well.
But what we didn't misinterpret is what we watched this week, I don't think.
We watched another episode of Friends, but it was amazing. It was so fucking funny.
They were there for us.
Yeah.
Why don't
and they're there, and we'll be there for them too. Yeah.
Wow. You're on it today, huh? Hilarious contribution.
I'm a little out of it today. Sorry, guys. Eddie. We talked about when Eddie moved in, I believe.
Yeah, I think so.
So now we get to talk about Eddie moving out. It's the best. Okay. It starts with Chandler waking up to Eddie staring at him. Mm-hmm. How fucked up is that? What would you do if you woke up and your roommate was sitting there in the dark just staring at you?
Well, I don't have a roommate, so.
But if you did.
And I mean, you've probably stared at me before when I was sleeping.
I had a friend do that to me one time, and it was really creepy.
Yeah.
I opened my eyes, and my friend Chris was just staring at me with this big smile on his face. I was like, what? What's up?
He had just finished masturbating?
I hope not.
Wow. And it was a guy, too.
Yeah. It was
weird.
creepy.
It is weird. I've never had anyone stare at me while I was sleeping. That I know
That you know
that
of.
I know of.
Right. Because apparently Eddie does this all the time. He's like, you're just freaked out because you saw me. What about all the other times when you didn't wake up?
Right. What about when I hid from you?
Yeah, I
Out
hid,
of courtesy.
I hid behind the bathroom door when you got up to go to the bathroom.
Right.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. And Chandler was like, get out, get out, get out. But Eddie, like, has some kind of mental illness. He must, because it's like he keeps thinking that the conversation didn't happen and just filling in reality with other things.
Right. Like they went on a road trip to Vegas in one day, I guess, from
Right.
New York. I don't know how they did that.
Right.
But he bought him boots.
Yeah, where'd he get the boots from?
I don't know.
Like, that's the shit that scares me.
Killed somebody for him.
Right. And then he got like a fruit dehydrator, and he was just like shrinking all this tiny fruit. Why? It's so weird.
I don't know. Because it was a weird thing to do, I guess. I don't know.
And like in the episode when he had moved in, I think it was that episode, so maybe we already knew he was a little weird. He had got
we knew he was weird.
He had a fish tank with like a goldfish cracker.
in it, yeah.
Well, now it has a real fish in it.
Mm-hmm. Well, it did.
But he took it out and shoved it in his pocket.
And he said, I'm not leaving you alone with my fish.
Because it's going to do way better in his pocket. Very safe fish.
Maybe he traded the fish for boots.
So in the meantime, Joey had lost his job as Dr. Drake Ramore.
Yeah, he got fired. He got written off the show.
He got shoved down an elevator
Was
shaft.
it Days of Our Lives? That's
Yeah.
That's NBC's soap opera, so that makes sense.
So he has no way to pay for this lovely apartment and all the stuff that he put on credit.
What's that one? Victor, right? Victor Kaz was something. I think that's Jennifer Aniston's dad.
What are you talking about?
The guy that's like the villain on Days of Our Lives. I think that's Jennifer Aniston's dad.
Oh, I don't know.
That plays him. Cause
I don't watch General Hospital.
He's Greek. Days of Our Lives. Damn it.
Right.
You don't know anything about Sammy.
I like All My Children, though.
You don't know anything about Sammy or any of the other ones.
No.
Can't remember their names.
I'm surprised that you do.
There's a redhead on it too. I can't remember her name.
Well, I'm sure you notice the redhead.
Well, she's older at this point. I think she's been on the show for like 25 years or something.
Interesting.
My mom, Days of Our Lives is the one my mom watches.
Gotcha.
So I know some stuff, but I don't know all of it.
I know some things.
Right?
So he gets a envelope from the credit card company that says envelope 1 of 2.
Yeah.
What in the actual fuck, Joey?
We spent a lot of money on stuff.
And why? Like, wait till you have the money. Like, I know you got the job, but wait till you have the money.
Well, how long was he on this show? This soap opera for? Because wasn't he getting money? Must have been
That's
getting money every
true.
week, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's been on it for a bit, so he should have had some money saved up.
Spent it all in that apartment.
Yeah. Oh, well.
What's he got left now? Nothing.
Well, he ends up
Could have
with...
stayed with Chandler and fucking saved his money.
Right. He ends...
Idiot.
Yep.
He's a fucking moron.
He ends up...
I'm really mad at
Fuck off.
I'm really mad at Joey now. I hadn't thought about it before, but I'm honestly really angry at him.
Why?
For how he first of all, he hurt his friend by moving out. And second of all, you know, he wasted his money.
Yeah.
He could have given some money to Chandler, who'd been paying for him for like his entire life.
Yeah, he could have, like, I don't know, paid rent 1 month before he moved out. bastard. But Ross buys when they come to...
And he doesn't share food. What a selfish dick.
Fuck off. When they come to repossess his stuff, Ross is there, and he's like, what can what can I save? Yeah.
You're taking all of his stuff.
What can I get for $200? Because he wanted to get the parrot. They were leaving with the parrot because he has this whole bunch of fucking fake animals. Like, what a waste of money.
He bought a menagerie of fake animals.
No matter how much money you have, it's like, that's a waste of money. It doesn't matter. And it was like $2,000.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? So he's like, what can I get for $200? So he saved this white dog statue that's ugly as fuck.
Yeah. I think it's supposed to be a whippet or a greyhound or something.
Looks like a greyhound to me, but who knows? So that's what he has left. That's it.
A Saluki.
So, what?
I just love when you ignore me. That's the most fun.
Well, I don't know what a Saluki is.
It's a dog, type of dog.
I've never heard of it.
It's like, it looks like a greyhound, kind of.
Okay.
They're tall. Well, they're tall. They're not quite. But anyway, go ahead.
So, another time, like, Chandler has talked to him and he thinks that he's moved out. Mm-hmm. And then Eddie shows up at fucking Central Perk and he's like, oh my God, he's in the doorway or the window and he's holding a human head because he was holding a mannequin's head.
Right.
And he's talking about what they can do with the mannequin's head.
Put chips in it.
Yeah.
For a dinner party.
So what ends up happening is Joey moves back in and they just pretend like he never moved out when Eddie gets there.
Yeah. We don't know what you're talking about, man.
Yeah. This is my roommate.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, why is all my stuff outside? And he just accepts. He just accepts it, though, because he's so used to, like, things not being what he thought they were.
Yeah, he's a weirdo.
So funny.
He's gone.
I think it's, like the best episode ever.
I think he should be found on the street with his throat slashed.
Oh, wow. Way to take friends to a dark place.
Just so they can feel bad. And they're like, oh, man. Because he was out in the streets of New York City alone.
With all his stuff.
He was murdered. Oh, well. And then they just go blithely on with their day. Did anything else happen in this episode? Was Monica doing something? Oh, they were taking each other's wind and shit.
Oh, yeah. The girls read this book called Be Your Own Wind Keeper.
It was some self-help thing.
Yeah, something where, guys are evil and...
Women empowerment.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but don't scam women out of $20 for each copy of the book they buy when it's just like, hey, speak up for yourself. It's all the stuff they were talking about is very simple concepts made complicated with dumb new agey sounding things like the pool of your inner self and the forest of your womanhood and stuff like it's just like, hey, maybe don't let guys walk all over you.
Yeah.
I could make the Reader's Digest version of that book on a napkin.
Well, and I'm all about feminism, but sometimes we take it a smidge too far, and I think this is one of those times.
Yeah.
Because they were getting angry at the guys who weren't doing anything. Yes, guys do things that suck, and women do need to be more assertive and, whatever. But you shouldn't treat all guys like crap because some guys are bad.
Right. Yeah, like Ross was like, does anyone want a Nick Claire? And they got all pissed off about that. So yeah, I don't think that it's very fair to him because he was just offering them a treat.
Yeah.
But they were mean.
And he told Rachel hey, we got to get going. And she freaked out. He was bossing her around. It's it's time to go to the fucking movie.
Right.
He's actually, the movie theater has the schedule. Whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think there was much else going on.
No. But it was the greatest episode ever, you said.
It really was. You didn't think so?
It was fine.
I just thought it was hilarious. The Eddie stuff was so funny.
Yeah. He's a weirdo. That actor. Specifically.
Chips and a mannequin head. I love it.
Right. Well, speaking of chips and a real head,
Ew.
which is something that might have happened in this movie. I don't know if it had been allowed to go on any farther.
Right.
We watched
Wood chips in the head for sure.
Right. We watched Fargo.
Yeah.
Fargo, North Dakota.
We saw this movie. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a really good movie.
It's a movie by a couple of brothers called Joel and Ethan Coen.
I wonder if they're like sad and or angry people in real life, because holy crap was this movie sad.
Yeah.
And violent and kind of gross.
It was like a crime movie, but everybody was dumb.
Right?
So all the problems came because they were dumb.
Yes, for sure. Like,
oh yeah.
The lady cop though, like she was the only smart one in the movie.
Yeah, she was smart, and it's funny because like she was smart in a very like slow, methodical, like churning kind of way,
and she was always calm. Like literally nothing ruffled her.
No, not at all.
I can't even imagine like being a police officer. You've got to see a lot of shit. Mm-hmm. And to just maintain that level of cool all the time.
And was she a sheriff? I think
so.
Because she was operating in many different places.
Yeah.
She was in Brainerd. She was in the Twin Cities. Oh, you're going to the Twin Cities, eh? She was in the Twin Cities, and she was in a few different places, and it seemed like she had authority in many different places. So I don't think she worked for I don't think she was a chief. I don't think she worked for like a municipal police department. I think she was a sheriff working for like a county sheriff department.
Okay, so a sheriff is in the county.
Yeah.
And then there's state police for the state.
Correct. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and she was pregnant. That's the most amazing part of it all. Like, I kind of love that this movie makes women look like badasses. I mean, to be pregnant and deal with everything and do it so well.
And deal with psychotic psychotic classmates, high school classmates.
Oh my God.
That was such a weird part of the movie that connected to nothing, but it was like a bit of flavor, I guess. It was, I don't know, it was interesting though. She looked more shaken up there than she did when she saw a body in a wood chipper. Yeah, her Asian classmate. It's so funny too because he's like, "Oh, hey," like he's got the same accent.
Well, yeah, because he's from there.
I know, but it's so weird to see that accent come out of an Asian person.
Okay.
Well, you don't like even when you see people in California, right? Because there's a lot of Asian people in California. They don't talk. They talk with if they have an accent, they might have a bit of a like a Chinese or a Japanese accent, depending on where they're from, obviously. Or they might have not much of an accent at all. Just speak, kind of like we do. I suppose we don't have much of an accent. You rarely find one that has a Californian accent,
right? It's
like. Oh, and then we went, and then, I mean, there are some Asian people that have accents like that, but they don't, it doesn't seem like, it seems more like, and maybe it's a product of where they learn English from, I guess. Yeah. And maybe I'm thinking more of people that are first generation.
Or people who grow up in an area that is mostly Asian.
Yeah,
because there are areas like that in California. I don't think there are areas like that in Minnesota.
No, that's definitely true. Yeah, he might not be first generation.
Right.
His parents might be first generation maybe, and he's second generation.
Or he could be adopted for all we know. Yeah. I mean, he could never have seen another Asian person in his whole life.
Oh, yeah. But anyway, it's odd to see, like, that accent's odd anyway, but to see it come out of somebody that is clearly not Midwestern is weird.
We're so close to it, though.
If I saw a black person being like, oh, really? That'd be weird to me, too.
Yeah. It would. But, I mean, you know how close we are to speaking like that? They even kind of speak like that in the UP.
Oh, they for sure do.
Yeah.
Oh,
so there's part of our state.
Get my snow machine over there, and they speak like that. You go up by Houghton or let's see, Harris, Michigan, which is right by Wisconsin, or like where Michigan Tech is and stuff like that. You go up there on the Upper Peninsula. They start talking like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why we don't, but I'm glad.
Yeah. Well, the thing is like they do a lot in Wisconsin too, but then there are parts of Wisconsin where they don't. There are parts of Wisconsin. It's so weird.
Like St. Louis, maybe, like the big city.
St. Louis isn't in Wisconsin, but
oh shit,
it's in Missouri.
Missouri.
Yeah. But no, it is weird. Chicago too. They talk like this in Chicago. This is a kind of a Chicago accent. Now, not everybody in Chicago talks like this, but this is the stereotypical Chicago accent there.
Okay, well, I mean that's not Midwestern.
Well, Chicago's Midwest, yeah, for sure.
But I mean the accent.
Yeah, well,
that you're doing.
I don't know if there's a generic Midwestern accent.
I thought that what they did in the movie was the generic Midwestern accent.
Yeah. No, that's specific to like parts of Wisconsin, Minnesota, North Dakota, that area, because those places were discovered and like founded by Scandinavians.
Oh, okay.
And that's, if you ever hear it with what's the Swedish stuff, that borg.
Yeah.
It's like you hear that that's a mixture of that. That's kind of where that accent comes from, Oh yeah, it's kind of it gets a little more. It's like it's that mixed with the Chicago kind of, but it's more musical. You hear a Swedish person talking that, it's like rocking kind of talking.
Yeah, I heard a lady speaking in Norwegian before. Mm-hmm. It was really cool. Yeah. And it sounded like she was singing.
Yeah. She
was on the phone talking to her family, crying and laughing, and the whole time it sounded like she was singing.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's where that comes from. But that's a northern Midwest accent, I guess.
So, this movie.
Yeah.
Back to the movie.
That's been accent talk.
Right. First it's geography, then it's accents. We're on something today. I don't know.
Social studies program.
Right.
We're going to talk about the psychology of putting someone in a wood chipper.
Speaking of psychology, what was wrong with the dude in this movie? Like, first of all, he owes all this money. We don't know why.
Oh, okay. So you're talking about
the husband,
William H. Macy.
Yeah. Who hires these two doofuses to kidnap his wife for ransom so he can get the ransom money.
Right.
Honest to God, well, except that it was his father-in-law he's trying to rip off, I would almost have said, just talk to your wife.
Right.
Get her to go along with it. Nobody's in any trouble.
Right. But, yeah, he doesn't know these people.
Right? Bless you.
Thank you. Yeah, he doesn't know these guys.
Yeah.
Like, how can he trust them to take care of his wife?
Well, because, the Indian guy at the car dealership that he worked at was, so super trustworthy. Like,
I think his name was Jim Proudfoot or something like that. His last name was Proudfoot. It was interesting.
Yeah. And he looked like an asshole. I mean, he looked
like an asshole. Yeah.
He looked like he hated everything and everyone, and he never hardly ever spoke. He never smiled. Why would you
never opened his mouth even when he spoke?
Yeah, he didn't. What the fuck was that?
Yeah, well.
It was weird. So yeah, I don't know why he'd be like, "Oh, you say these are good people. Right. I'm all about it."
Yeah, exactly. And they do end up killing his wife.
Yeah. I'm glad they didn't rape her. Like, I was kind of afraid that was going to happen. At least she died without being raped.
That should be in her obituary. At least she died without being raped.
Well, I mean, the assholes stopped to get prostitutes more than once in this movie. So they're very, very into sex.
That's true. Yeah. They had sex twice. They were very into sex.
Well, in 2-3 days? This was not a long time period.
I guess that's true, yeah. But, yeah, so this is... The plot of this movie is so serpentine.
Yeah.
But apparently, I guess, he defrauded the GMAC, which is the General Motors something creditor or something like that.
Okay.
But they finance cars.
Okay.
So he defrauded them out of money. I don't know why.
Or how.
Well, he defrauded them because he said he sold 4 cars that he didn't sell.
Right.
And they gave loans for 4 cars that he didn't sell.
What did he do with that money, though?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know why. I don't know why he thought it would be a good idea to defraud the crediting company. I don't know what he did with that money. And, yeah, I don't, like, that was never explained, and I don't understand why. It didn't seem like he had gambling problems or anything like that, which is one thing you might think. It didn't seem like he had drug problems, which is another thing you might think. So my guess is, you know, he came to his father-in-law with this, like, land deal or whatever, right? Like, hey, let's do this. My guess is that he had some business idea that he thought, like, it seemed like, and this is the, you know, you have to read a lot of subtext into this stuff because it's not, you know, just put out there, which is, I like, but it seemed like he didn't like living under his father-in-law's thumb.
Right.
He worked for his father-in-law's car dealership. All of, like, his father-in-law had a bunch of money. They didn't. They just had whatever money that he made. I mean, it looked like they had a decent living and everything, but it seemed like he resented that he had to work for his father-in-law and live off his father-in-law.
Right.
So my guess is that he took that money and tried to start some sort of business of his own, or tried to invest in some sort of venture of his own, and it failed because he's an idiot.
He is definitely an idiot.
And obviously didn't think it through or whatever. And now he's in trouble because he needs that money to pay them back because he committed fraud. That's my guess.
Yeah.
So this is the plan that he came up with, is staging the kidnapping of his wife, but really actually having her kidnapped.
And he tells the kidnappers that he's going to ransom her for $80,000 and that they get to keep 40.
Yeah.
But the reality is he's telling his father-in-law he's ransoming her for $1 million.
That's right.
Wow. I mean, that's so huge.
Well, he needs like $800,000 or something to pay off those loans.
Wow.
Yeah. It must have been more than 4 cars. 4 cars couldn't be $200,000 a piece.
Right? And unless they're like, I don't know, Ferraris maybe?
Maybe it was 8 or something. I don't know. He needed VIN numbers. That's all I know, and I can't remember how many VIN numbers he said. And maybe it wasn't $800,000, but it was something like that. It was in that neighborhood. I think he was being greedy. He just wanted extra money, too.
Probably.
By the way. It was like he didn't need that whole $1 million.
Yeah.
But anyway, so he stages this kidnapping. He gives them a car.
Which is another stupid thing to... Like, he goes with the guys who know the dude he works with.
Yeah.
And gives them a car to use from his lot.
Everything is so easily traceable back to him.
Yeah.
And so he loans them a car. The fucking moron, Steve Buscemi, forgets to put the temporary tags in the windshield.
Oh my god.
So they get pulled over by a state trooper, who the one guy, the silent guy that barely ever talks with the blonde hair. I mean, just an absolute freak of a character. Kills the guy. Mm-hmm. Then 2 people drive by, seeing Steve Buscemi trying to like get the guy off the road and everything.
Yeah, because the big guy who's actually strong enough wouldn't help him as punishment because he didn't put the tags on the car. Like,
yeah, I mean, well, first they were both idiots too, by the way. But just leave him there.
Yeah,
like, what does it matter if he's off the road or not? They're going to find him,
right?
So then, because the couple sees them, he chases them down in his car and then kills both of them.
Well, they very obviously were staring at them as they drove by, which was not very smart of them either.
No. And apparently they weren't good drivers because he crashed the car, and that's why he was able to catch up with them.
Yeah.
So, but he must have been going real fast, I'm guessing, to try to get away from him.
Well, yeah, and it was snowy.
Yeah. So, anyway, so they kill those 3 people there. And that's when we get, I think her name is Frances McDormand. The actress. The pregnant one.
Oh,
The
okay.
cop.
Yes.
So, that's when we see her. And her sweet little relationship with her husband.
It is so sweet. I love them together.
Which is very cute.
He, like, insists on getting up even though she's, like, woken up in the middle of the night to make her breakfast because you need a breakfast on the way to work. And then he brings her lunch.
Yeah. And she's very supportive of him and his painting and stuff like that. And I guess maybe he works for the post office as an artist or something like that, or they just chose his thing or his design or whatever.
He was in some kind of contest, it sounded like. So I don't know.
But yeah, anyway, their relationship's very cute. We don't see a lot of it, but it's what's there is impactful. Yeah. So yeah, she kind of gets wind of this and everything, starts to investigate. And like I said, she just kind of slowly churns her way across this movie, like closing in on them closer and closer, because she's just very methodical about everything that she does, and she follows, every lead.
Yeah.
And so I mean, basically that's they kidnap the wife,
and she fights back. She is tough. She was not
sure.
going down easy.
But they put a bag over her head and take her to a lake, some cabin by the lake, and they keep her there. And she's just sitting in a chair, tied up,
which sounds
with a
awful.
Bag over her head.
Yeah, probably pissing on herself. I mean, like they're not very kind. They're not like giving her food or making sure she's okay.
Yeah, and like, I don't know. They just they don't understand that they're supposed to give her back.
Yeah,
like they're dumb about the whole thing too.
Very dumb. And like the reason he killed her was because she started screaming.
Right.
She hadn't been screaming. Why'd she start screaming? What the fuck did he do? That's what I want to know. Because like, he was bored. I mean, that was like a thing they were kind of implying is like there's nothing to do. The TV's not even working right. So like, was he fucking with her?
I don't know. Who knows?
The whole thing was very upsetting to see.
Steve Buscemi, got shot in the face.
Yeah.
Because the father-in-law insists on taking the money.
Another stupid thing.
Yeah. Like, if this was real, why would you all of a sudden switch that up like that?
Yeah, and the dude's like in his 60s or 70s. He's not like young and to go there and beat their ass or something. Like, what, he just wanted to see them with his own eyes, I guess? Like, I don't get it.
So he gets shot and killed.
Mm-hmm. But Steve Buscemi gets shot in the face, and it's awesome. It makes me, like, so happy. It's one of the best moments of the movie.
So he sees the money. It's like, oh my God.
$1 million instead of the $80,000 he thought it was going to be.
So he takes out $80,000 and hides the rest of the money. And then he says, hey, you can take my truck. I'm going to take the car. He goes back to the thing. He goes back to the thing, looks at the wife dead on the ground, and was like, what happened to her or whatever.
Yeah. She was still attached to the chair.
Yeah. And so the one guy, the weird guy, I mean, they're all weird, but he's like, no, we split the car. And instead of just being like, fine, because he's got the rest of $1 million.
Right.
He argues with him about it. And then
stupid.
Leaves, and the guy comes after him with an axe, and it cuts as he swings.
Yeah, because this guy is fucking unhinged. Why do you argue with the crazy dude?
Right. But obviously he killed him.
Yeah.
And then the next time we see, like, she's driving around the lake because, again, like, Steve Buscemi comes up and he's like, to this one dude, and he's like, hey, where can I get a prostitute around here, basically?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I don't know about that, and like, he's like, oh, the last people that, whatever, like, talk back to me are dead, or whatever, basically. And he's like, oh, it sounds like it's not good for them. It's like, could you be more suspicious? Like, what is your problem? So dumb. So she goes driving around there, looking around, and she finds the car. the Tan Sierra. Tan Sierra! Tan Sierra! And she sees him stuffing the guy into the wood chipper.
That was so gross. With the tennis shoe still on his foot sticking out. Oh.
So she gets him. She arrests him. She's like, just for money, you know?
Yeah, and the thing is, and she's like, just for a little bit of money. And it is a little bit. It's $80,000.
Yeah, it's not much at all.
And the other dude had hidden almost $1 million in the snow somewhere, and it's just going to stay there forever now.
Yeah, exactly. Until somebody will find it.
Well, yeah, because he did mark it with a ice scraper.
Yeah. And then William H. Macy gets arrested. And we have no idea what happens to his son.
Oh, okay, yes.
Yeah, the car dealership.
See, I don't know who people are.
The car dealership guy.
Yeah, he didn't give a shit about his kid.
Lundegaard. Mm. Mr. Lundegaard.
He was such an ass.
Yeah.
And who's this kid going to end up with now? Grandpa's dead, mom's dead, dad's in jail.
I don't know.
And, like, you know, they're short $1 million from this family now, so it's not even like his inheritance is probably going to be huge now.
Right. Well, I assume that the dad's got quite a bit of money. Dad seemed like he owned a very large business. Or the grandpa.
Yeah, I guess. So he'll be all right.
I mean, financially, emotionally.
Right?
His whole family's dead. And it's all his dad's fault.
Idiot.
Oh, my God, yeah. So, what did you think of the movie as a whole?
I really liked it. It sucked me in the whole, you know, like the whole time. I really like identify with the main character while I'm watching it, and like
The cop.
Yeah. And like all I wanted was for her to be okay and to get the assholes, and it all worked out. So it was very gratifying.
She was the only good person in the movie.
Well,
really.
and her husband.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like really well written, really good direction, and different.
Yeah.
Not exactly like funny in parts, like weirdly funny in parts. And just, I don't know, just very, like, one thing that I noticed, and I know they've done a couple other movies. I think they did a movie called Blood Simple.
Never heard of it.
It's like a smaller, independent one. But, like, so I know they've done a couple movies before, but this is, I mean, the first wide release one they've had. And the first one that's been really popular. A lot of people are talking about it. It's done well in the box office. But there's like, almost like with Tarantino, right? There's something just a little bit different about their style. And one thing that I like is they let silences play out.
Yes.
And I think that adds to some tension, that adds to, and it makes certain scenes interesting. Some scenes that might not be funny become more funny as the silences play out, or become more tense because of that. But they really just let scenes kind of hang.
Yeah.
And that's something that's different that I think is distinctly theirs.
It does. It just has a different feel watching it than in a lot of other movies.
Cinematography too. I mean, is they have a lot of white stark landscapes, but they're kind of, you know, they can be majestic in their sweep too. So they play with that a lot too, which is nice.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good one.
Definitely recommend it.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, go out there and check it out. But that is the episode for the week. Carol, why don't you tell people stuff?
Check out our website at retrolatefee.com. Rate us at latefee1994 at AOL.com and tell a friend.
That's right, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.